Hey guys, Finloxy here. So this is going to be a rambling mini review of Torn Away, which is a game that I actually haven't played. Now you may be asking yourself, why and how are you going to do a review for a game that you have not in fact played? Well, there's a story behind that. Let me explain. So first, I just finished the demo. It took me about 30 minutes, and luckily the devs at the end of the demo, they have a little add to wish list button and a buy now button. I think it was buy now. I don't remember. I think it was maybe just add to wish list. Doesn't matter. I'm not interested. I'm no longer interested in the game. I was interested before I played the demo, and it convinced me that my time and money is better spent elsewhere. And in fact, I wanted to quit about 10 minutes into the demo. If you've played, what was that game about the rain where you controlled like the 4 different characters with the serial killer, the origami killer? I can't remember. It was the Jason meme. I want to say Silent Hill. Obviously, that's incorrect. Silent Rain? Something Rain? Anyway, it was like you use the PlayStation controller to like gesture with it and all this crap. It's one of those David Cage games, similar to Indigo Prophecy or whatever. This game is basically the beginning of that, not the initial part. I don't even remember the beginning of that one, but I remember when your main character first wakes up in the morning and goes about their day and like starts shaving and stuff like that. That's basically this game. That first half hour. I actually got kind of interested in this game because of a thread I saw online where the devs were talking about how, very few people bought their game. People were excited about it. People loved it. There was, it had like 18,000 wish list things on Steam. And then when it was released, only, what did they say, 49 people bought it or something like that? Or maybe 400 in the first month, and now like 5,000 people have bought it. And as a result, they worked on it for 4 years with 9 people, and I was like, okay. And they were offering it for 30% off, so I was like, you know what? Let me check it out. There's a demo. Let me check this out. And actually, first I watched the trailer, and the trailer was really bizarre. My first thought is that the developers, they're Russian. Their English is not very good. That would be my guess, because it just seems a little off. That's okay. I'm willing to overlook that. But the trailer, and it's basically this right here, it's supposedly this narrative, this story-driven game, this narrative-driven experience, which I love. That's my bag, by the way. And it's talking about the gameplay. It's about this. I'm probably completely screwing this rambling review up, but F it, I'm gonna keep going. So you're a girl that was captured during World War II, and she has to. I don't think she's Jewish. She was captured from Russia and forced to work as basically slave labor, and then she escapes, and she's got to make it like thousands of miles home, allegedly on foot. I don't know how that works. I was kind of curious, but the trailer is like, it's just bad. The trailer is supposed to sell your game, and it does not. It makes it look terrible, and instead of advertising the narrative, you are advertising the gameplay mechanics, which is very strange to me. And first off, if the devs ever watch this video, You need to decide if gameplay, or sorry, game development is something you actually want to do going forward. Because if not, get out of it. Like I'm not. This is not like a harsh thing. I'm not saying. I mean, you do suck. No offense, but I will explain. If there was no story in the 30 minutes of the demo that I played. Give me an actual story. And if it was a movie or like a short or something like that, or even something like, what was that? Man, okay, hang on. What was it? South Scrimshaw Part 1. That was basically a slideshow that you click through. And it was free, although I think they let you pay $10 for maybe the soundtrack or something like that. That was free and it was amazing. This costs money and it's probably terrible. And like I said, if game development is something you want to do, you need to figure out what to do. If it's not something you want to do, don't do it. Like I said, I'd probably watch. The art style is interesting. I'd probably watch a video about it. But you are not. If you have to, it seems like you're like, look at these mechanics, look at all these different mechanics. And you're doing that as a way to keep the characters from getting, or to keep the players from getting bored. And if that's the case, your narrative sucks. Your story sucks. You need to figure out whatever is going on and fix it. Because if your players are getting bored, it's not that they don't have different gameplay mechanics to mess with, right? If the story is good, it will drive your players to see it through. And like I said, I don't know if I got any story. I think technically the story was the initial, when you first start up and there's like a little paragraph or something at the very beginning where it's like, you've been captured. World War II is going on. It's time to escape. Get back home. Get back home to Russia. I think that was all the story that I got. And all the rest. There were multiple different gameplay things. There was stealth, you could see it right here. There was pick up things, examine things. There was move objects around. There was, first person, whatever. And by the way, they don't tell you about the controls for any of this stuff. Like, none of it's intuitive. I didn't realize that in the first person section, you can actually use the mouse to look around. I didn't realize this until there was there's a ravine and you have to go over it and there's something diagonal. And I'm like, how the hell do I do that? And then I just happened to move the mouse. I was like, oh, it's not intuitive. And in this 30 minutes, there was probably a new gameplay mechanic every 5 minutes or so. But you shouldn't even need any of that. If it was a visual novel and your story was good, that would be enough to keep people. Reading the... Okay. This is going to be all over the place and I apologize. But so I started off reading about the thread. I watched the trailer and I was like, this is bad. Because before I saw the trailer, I was going to buy the game. I was going to buy it just to play it. And then I saw the trailer and I'm like, trailer sucks. And by the way, if game development is something you want to do, as far as the trailer goes, there's GDC talks. The one that I think of immediately is the Brigador. The developers behind Brigador talked about their failed launch and how the trailer played the biggest part in that. Like, the trailer sets the tone for your game. The trailer is what makes people interested in your game. And if it makes them uninterested, you have failed. And whoever made your trailer has failed you. And it would be better to not release a trailer. You have the art. Make it yourself. Make a fucking slideshow with music. If you can capture the emotional tone, that's better than, well, look at all these wacky hide from wild animals. She's got to make a trip of 1,000 miles to get back home. Watch out for those Nazis. They're very silly people or whatever. It's just like, what are you guys doing? What are you doing? Oh yeah, the bridges collapsed too. Watch out for those bridges. They didn't say that in the trailer, but I'm adding my own little flavor. Um, yeah, seriously, watch the Brigador uh, GDC talk about the failed launch. Watch the freaking you say you had 9 people in development for 4 years, and having played the demo, now I understand why. Because I thought it was just going to be like a side scroller where you literally hold down, you hold down right just to move your character the whole time, and that was fucking boring. That was boring because I had no reason to go to the right. Oh, get home. Yeah, I don't care. Who is the character? Why should I care? Oh, she's a little girl. Yeah? She's running from the Nazis. Nazis are bad. And she and I have no emotional connection. This is what bugs the shit out of me, because it's like, I love these games. I love these style of games. If you have a great story, I'm all in. But your story sucks. Or at least there was no story in the demo. Okay? So watch that GDC talk. Watch the freaking Jeff Vogel, how to, the failure to fail the spiderweb software way, where he talks about the finance behind being an indie studio and how he is basically a solo dev, and how he does that because he is lean and mean, and he's almost gone out of business. But you guys, 4 years of 9 people to make a game that no one wants. And after having playing the demo, I understand why. Like, I'm sorry your game sucks, but it does. Maybe once you're past the demo, they actually start introducing the story. But looking at this trailer with all the things, it so reminds me of, what the hell is that Rain game? See, this is gonna bug me now. Hang on. Okay, let's see. Origami Killer. Heavy Rain. Okay. Heavy Rain. There we go. I mean, I don't know if it was heavy rain in all regions. I know in the US it's heavy rain. We got the worst box art. But yeah, it's like or Shenmue, which I never played, but I remember Shenmue 3 got released and everyone's talking about how they did the same thing that they had done in the original, when opening drawers was it was a novelty because everything was basically in 2D or the beginning of 3D. And that's what this reminds me of. It reminds me of a bunch of people that don't really know what they're doing, that throw a bunch of stuff at the wall. And that's why indie games, man, no wonder you guys are going out of business. Like, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be mean, but you're like, why are we going out of business? We worked on this game for 4 years and 9 people, and it's like, it's because the story sucks. I have nothing that grabs me. I have no reason to want to continue playing. And yes, holding to the right is boring. But you think that a little girl running from the Nazis is enough. And by the way, you talked about, this is dedicated to all the, casualties and civilians of war. It's like, not everyone that joins the military wants to go to war. Not all of them agree with it, by the way. How many people did not agree? How many people were conflicted, but, you have to do whatever you can to feed your family. That's typically why poor people join the military, by the way, because it actually raises their social status. And torn away, I get it. It's the glove thing. It's the mitten, whatever. See, opening drawers, doing this, coloring, whatever. It's not fun. Why do I care? How does it propel the story? How does it move it forward? Does moving a pan with sausages around on it, does that enhance the story at all? No. It's a gimmick. It's a freaking gimmick, and I don't care. And then this is what I mean about the dude being not able to develop a story, because in his freaking thing where he posts like, oh, we need people to buy our game, so we're putting it on sale. And one of the things was, man, our development was really troubled. Click here to read the whole story. So I'm like, okay, yeah, tell me the whole story. I click on it. It's like 2 pages long. There's no conflict. There's no drama. It's about him. Basically, the 75% of it is, when I was a young lad, I grew up and I thought computers were the coolest thing. And then I started to draw, and I was drawing in class, and all I could think about was drawing. So those next few years in high school were really hard, but I kept at it, even though I wasn't focused on my schoolwork. And then finally I met somebody, and they hired me, and I started doing, art for a job. But man, I love drawing my own stuff. That's amazing. But drawing for other people, that's really soulless. It's really soul crushing. So I decided one day I'd start my own studio. And then I started working my way up to producer, and I got this and I got that, and I started leading teams and this and this and that. And then I met someone, and he was like, let's team up. And I was like, cool, let's start my own game. Okay. Where's the troubled development? Well, now, I'm getting there. So now we started our game, and we worked on it for 4 years, and then we released it, and it didn't make very much money. The end. So tell me about this troubled development. Where was it? Oh, that was it. That was the troubled development. And you tell me the game you're making, that's all about story, didn't do well. What a shock. What a shock. So yeah, I have, it's been about 20 minutes. I definitely would not recommend this game. Try the demo. See if you like it. I do not. I want to know, like, just why? Like, it's no fucking wonder you're confused. Did you even ask anybody? Or did you only listen to the people? Because he says everyone that played it loved it. And I guarantee that's not the case. Many people are polite and they'll be like, oh, I mean, it was fine. It was fine. Oh, I liked this. But you're not listening. When people are like, oh, it was nice. I thought it was really nice. Like, you have to seek out the negative shit. But you just want smoke blown up your ass. Right? Which is why when people are like, oh, I thought it was good. What did you like about it? Oh, okay. What did you not like about it? Well, I thought this and this and that. Right? Because all you have to do is ask questions. If people are a little hesitant or they're vague or they use weasel words or whatever, they're full of shit. Oh, I thought it was really neat that you could spin this thing around. Oh, what did you think of the story? Oh, it was good. I liked it. What parts did you like? Did you feel any emotion? Did you cry? Did it affect you? Whatever. I mean, you have to seek out people that'll actually tell you the truth about stuff. Otherwise, this happens. Otherwise, your game fucking tanks. But then again, no offense, you weren't thinking about your game in the first place. You set out to make a story heavy, narrative driven game with no story, with gimmicks, where you have 9 freaking people working on what? One person did the 3D stuff and twirled it around in Unity. Maybe that was the main guy, because he talked about making 3D art and stuff and how he didn't know how to code. It's like, okay, well, who did you get to work on the story? You know, and they didn't even show us any of that, right? There was none of that. Where she and her mom are being separated, and that would have been something. You should have shown that at the very freaking beginning of the demo, because then it's like, oh, I have to get home. But why? You know, you see the mom getting pulled away and getting shot in the head, and you're like, I need to get out of here. And then she escapes, and she's like, home's the only safe place for me. Okay, now we have a reason. And then the mitten dude, right? But instead, it's all about this crap, all about the gimmicks. Anyway, that's basically it. I really wanted to make this video just because reading the whole, like, I'm a poor indie dev, woe is me, why does no one, everyone says they love my game and then no one buys it, why? And then I look and I'm like, it's because it sucks. But I bet people told you that and no one listened. Right? Maybe you argued with them. Maybe the one person that's like, hey, your game sucks. Instead of being like, why? Why do you say that? I mean, you might have been like, well, why? Why? Tell me why. Huh? Right? Well, this person says it's great. They love it. What's wrong with you? Okay. Because, you know, me doing this, like, right now, right? It's just me talking. But if I started, I was like, you know, because I'm generally not the person that's going to be like, your game sucks. I'm doing that now because you promised me a story-driven experience, and I love those. And you didn't deliver at all in any capacity. And then you're like, why does no one like my game? And so I'm telling you, but I'd be like, hey, you know, you wanted to do a story-driven experience, right? And I would do like the soft criticism. I'd be like, well, I didn't really get a whole lot of story. And you'd be like, oh, okay, thanks, man. Like, you're not listening. Like I said, I don't know, but the fact that there's so much gameplay and zero story, maybe there's actual story in the game, but I don't know. Like, yeah, whatever. Just whatever. Anyway, that's all. Anyway, guys, that's it for today. Whatever. I made the video, like I said, because I'm tired of, I support indie devs. I really do. I think they're going to be the next, with all the AAAs failing and about to go out of business. Indie devs there's going to be a power vacuum that indie devs can take over. But if they're going to be like this, you know, this person's not going to succeed. I'm sorry. You know, but you need to learn. And that's the thing. Like, why the fuck are you not watching these GDC things where people talk about the failures? Your trailer, that should have been a red flag to you because you should have known better. You're telling me how many hundreds of thousands of dollars did you spend over 4 years and had zero idea that a good trailer is, or, not only necessary, but a bad trailer will destroy your game. You can't tell me you didn't know that. If you didn't know that, what the hell are you doing? You know? It's a story. Okay. Where? Show me where. Anyway, also, she would have died in that forest during the demo. She would have frozen to death immediately. That's how it happens. It's not like it's so cold. You think you don't understand how cold it actually is. You're not gonna go. I don't know. I mean, maybe she'll be able to make it like 15 miles or something like that, but then she'll get lost in the woods and she'll just freeze to death. You know? Um anyway. Yeah, like I said, wanted to make this because I just keep seeing these indie devs being like, why is no one buying my game? Why does no one like my game? And it's like, what are you doing? You're making a game, but you're not. You just think success falls out of the sky? It doesn't. It does not. It's a hyper competitive market. Everyone wants to be the best. Everyone wants to be. You're competing with all kinds of things. You're competing with, even talk about games. If you're just looking at Steam games alone, I don't know how many new releases there are a day. Probably hundreds. You're trying to get not just attention, but attention and enough to make a living for 9 people. That's hard. That's really hard. I don't know what the average game makes. I don't know. To make, okay. To make your money back. Okay, let's say you pay 40,000. Let's say 50,000 a year. Okay. We'll say 10 people. So that's $500,000. Now, you're probably not actually paying that. Are they full-time? Are they contractors? Are they part-time? Who knows? But let's say full-time. 4 years at $500,000. That's $2 million. Just to break even, and you're paying for trailers and stuff too. But just to break even on the game development costs, you need to make $2 million. You need to sell and $2 million. You need to sell that. You need to technically sell I don't know, Steam takes a cut of 30% due to all the logistics and everything. And then, the publisher is whatever else, probably another 10%. I think they said 45% was taken. So they lost half. So you're talking you need to sell $4 million potentially. Okay. Good luck. That's why Jeff Vogel talks about the leanest and the meanest. It's, yeah. I don't think they actually spent $2 million on their dev team. There's no way. There's no way they could do that. There's probably a bunch of part-time people. I mean, maybe they had an investor supposedly, so who knows? But okay, shit, it's been 30 minutes. All right, let's cut this because I've been rambling enough. But hopefully, it's kind of interesting. I keep bringing more stuff in, like, oh, they had an investor, and oh, they spent this, and oh, they need to make this, and blah blah blah. Right? It's like, it just makes me crazy. It makes me crazy how ignorant people are. Well, we worked on it for 4 years. Why aren't we making money? I don't know. Why don't you know? I mean, it's, yeah. And then I saw somewhere else they're blaming it on the current political climate, and people are, um, oh, there's the war, and oh, this and oh, that. It's like people love drama. They don't care. They don't care. Tell me Game of Thrones didn't do well because of the harsh political climate. That's all about politics. You're going to tell me that didn't do well? Okay. Yeah. I mean, could it be because World War II is played out? Maybe. Could it be because it's a niche game and it's very niche? Maybe. You know? I mean, it looks like Inside. That's the other thing. This game, I see it, I'm like, oh, I want to play Inside. It's on my wish list. I should play that one. Anyway, guys, that's it for today. Hopefully you enjoyed my rambling. Tell me what you guys think. I'm really curious. I want to know if you've played this game. I could probably redo this video. I could probably make it a little bit more streamlined. One of these days, maybe I'll actually write scripts for these things, but I need more time for that. I can't just do it off the cuff because I have a few minutes now, right? But or impulse strikes me and I get into it. But I raise my voice a little bit too because I realize I'm kind of like I'm surrounded by other people. I can't be too loud. Anyway. But anyway, guys, like that is it for today. Thank you guys so much for your time and attention. I really do appreciate it. Attention is scarce. Like I sort of let that thought die, but competition for all kinds of attention is super fierce, whether it's games, YouTube, podcasts, TV. TV's still a thing. Frickin' radio. People love their smartphones. They're on TikTok and all that stuff constantly. To get any kind of attention, if you're paying me attention, I really do appreciate it. I seriously do. But to get any kind of attention is really difficult, So thank you for yours. Yeah, as always, guys, questions, comments, concerns, good, bad, or indifferent, let me hear them. I do read all of them, assuming they're not, at least the ones YouTube doesn't memory hole. And I try and respond to all of them as well. That's it. Hope to see you guys next time. Till then, guys, take care.